Well, that match turned out to be far more thrilling than it had any right to be. But I'm sure certain RCB fans, or in fact all RCB fans, were one time been very nervous about what turned out to be a pretty comfortable victory in the end. I mean, chasing 152, 13.4 overs, the match is done. Everything reads comfortable. But that phase wherein they ended up losing 6 wickets for about 18 or 20 odd runs. I mean, my God. I understand the reason why, and it was actually them trying to, accelerate, try and get a move on, ensure they could repair that net run rate, but they very nearly lost the match in the process.
They lost it. They were wanting to ensure that, okay, Kulhadi par hi pair maar deta hu. That was how it was, because Kulhadi par pair, they janbujke wanted to ensure that, okay, it became a thriller. Look at it, 92 for 1 and 5.5.
From there, 117 for 6.
And you are wondering, what is RCB doing? The most of the comments that I have been getting is, what was RCB doing? You look at it, 1, 2, 4, 1. It's not a postal code that we are talking about. It
25 runs, 6 wickets, 5 wickets over.
Yeah, 1 of 3, 2 of 3, 4 of 3, 1 of 2. You were hell bent on committing harakiri.
And constantly going for the big shots. And again, I didn't understand that approach even when it came to TK and Swapnil. By that point, you needed like 30 odd runs.
Yes.
And they're also going for the big shots. DK also a couple of times looked a little shaky. In the end, he seemed settled, and I think that big over from Rashid, who clearly wasn't bowling at his best, I think he came off the field for a while and he was dealing with something.
I think Darshan Nalkande was a substitute.
Yes. So Rashid was off the field for a while, and I think him coming back, they probably looked to bring him on because you could see what a Noor was getting out of the pitch. There are two decisions really. One was them, rushing back Rashid, ensured that he was bowling half tilt, got topped. Second thing, those 2 overs from Mohit Sharma in the power play, man. What was that?
So now in 8 overs.
The idea was clear. I think they wanted to target Mohit Sharma. And unfortunate enough, because no matter what he tried, there was after a point, even the keeper had come up to the stumps. The field setting was such, and everything that was hitting the willow was only finding the boundary. At times, maybe I'll hold, the captain, Shubman Gill, a little bit guilty because at one point, there was a 25-meter gap between the man at
extra cover?
Between cover and mid-off. 25-meter gap. That's not ideal at all.
You're giving the batters so much room to just not piercing the gap. It's just going through a big gaping hole.
Yes.
Yeah. So as a batter, I'm looking for it. I see a 25-meter gap in the way. Anything that I hit 4 times out of 5, it's finding the back of the rope.
Yeah.
So that was, maybe the field setting was also such at times that once the field was lightning quick, by the way. Every time it reached the inside of the circle, is only finding the ropes.
Poor Mohit Sharma. I mean, let me be very honest with you. 8 overs now for 146. And you know what is the remarkable coincidence here? 4 overs he bowled against the Delhi Capitals. He got hit for 73 runs, right? 2 matches, 2 overs each. If you add that up, it's 4 overs for 73.
I think it's time for a break. Mohit Sharma needs to be given a break.
It's
I know they don't quite have a strong bench strength, GT, but they have somebody like a Nalkande who has done fairly okay.
And a Warrior.
Warrior I think will be a starter, but see, if the worst case, you could turn to an Umesh. How much worse will he be?
And forget Umesh. Today you got in a Vijay Shankar. Didn't bowl him at all. You persisted with 2 pacers. Joshua Little got you 4 wickets, but that was when the match, they were just wanting to throw their wickets away. Okay, give to me. Muft. That was the way how the RCB batters were going about. 1 wicket ke saath 3 wicket. Muft. And now see 4 for 45. The onslaught that Duplessis was having, we were wondering, man, is this game getting over in 10 overs?
That's what we were thinking. I mean, we thought, okay, double quick time, they're chasing it, and they still got it done in about 13.4 overs. But you really made things very uncomfortable for yourself. In fact, as an RCB fan who I know, our producer Pawan supports RCB, and he was saying that, listen, NRR is one thing, at least win the damn game first.
No, he's aged 10 years.
Yeah.
Pawan has aged 10 years.
He looks like our age now.
Yeah, I know.
There's another RCB fan upstairs, and she almost didn't have any nails left.
She was reduced to tears. That is
bad.
what RCB does to you. It reduces even normal people to tears.
I mean, and this was a match that they had in the bag
Yeah.
by every metric possible.
No, the bag unfortunately developed a weak hole, and that is why it all spilt out before you. Oh, it's spilling out. I'd better clog that hole. And that's how. See, 152 for 6.
But anything that GT could have done, if you ask me, I don't think it was a wrong ploy to not have Vijay Shankar bowl.
No, I think it was. See, because again, if you
You're wasting Vijay Shankar then.
no, we are
The
not.
thing is,
I know, for the other thing also, but still utilize him for other thing.
the one thing I feel it's not with Vijay Shankar. I think Rashid could have been brought into the attack earlier. They
But I
wanted
think there was an injury problem
There
there.
wasn't. Yes, he was off the field. If it wasn't the case, though, if he wasn't, because I haven't heard anything from the GT camp yet.
Oh, wait. Now I know why. You remember he was trying to pull a short ball from green. It hit him on the arm and he got treatment. Remember, there was a
Oh,
short
yeah.
timeout in that. And I think he didn't recover quite properly. I think that is the incident. See, he tried a kind of a snake kind of a pull. I think the ball from green hit him on the arm. That is why I think he was off the field. I think that is the incident that comes because he didn't suffer any other injury apart from that.
Correct.
He didn't dive around in the field or neither did he do anything. I think that one hit from green possibly might have injured him and kept him off. That's why he couldn't come earlier. And I think once you're off the field for a certain period of time, you can't bowl immediately.
Oh.
Maybe that was the reason. I think that is the reason why. So, yeah, bad. Two captains. Hardik Pandya and Shubman Gill, both with their first stints, if you may say, for their new franchisees, are now finding it out the hard way that captaining an IPL team is not easy. And that's why you will see, if you look at the points table, I am pretty much sure Mumbai and GT are at the bottom at this point.
So
Number 9
basically,
and
the
number 10.
franchise that Hardik left,
Yeah.
vis-a-vis the franchise he's now captaining, are taking up
Go
the
down
last
even
two
further?
spots. Yeah, it has to be them only. I mean, dear God, this is quite something. And by the way, if were it not for just scroll a little bit down.
Yeah, so
were-
okay. Okay, Mumbai and GT. Yes.
Right at the bottom, Mumbai.
RCB has surged to 7th. Wow. Punjab Kings, because their net run rate has taken a big, this thing from minus 0.415, it's now gone to minus 0.049.
Exactly. So the net run rate has improved in that regard. But again, see, games now, they have to win all three.
Yeah.
And even then you'll get to 14 points. Ooh, very tricky. I mean, see, Punjab Kings, Delhi Capitals are two teams who I'd say are in the same boat. And if they can somehow beat both of them, then down those two go.
Only team that can dent RCB's chances is the Kaveri neighbor.
Chennai Super Kings. And incidentally, that match is the last game that RCB have to play on May 18th.
May 18th. And not just that, see, CSK are taking on Punjab. If CSK beat Punjab, that will take them to 12.
Yeah.
One of SRH and LSG are definitely making to 14 because they play each other. Now, if you look at it, if LSG beat Kolkata and if SRH beat, you may say LSG, then I think it's game over for RCB.
Yeah, because then there'll be like 4 teams basically on 14 or 3 teams on 14, which would make it nigh on impossible because then they have to win at least one because again, LSG and SRH could potentially get to 16. They have to play each other.
Yes.
So that's the thing. Really, if I'm RCB, then I really hope that KKR flatten LSG because then that team stays on 12.
SRH flatten LSG.
Yeah. Because then the net run rate factor will come in.
Yeah.
Or even if...
And then, by the way, then they will also have to hope that match SRH LSG that the loser ends up losing, not winning more than one of the remaining matches. There.
Correct.
So all those permutations.
Well, Harshit has done a video on
Yes.
RCB's playoff chances. You can check that out for RCB fans. That's a lifeline. And boy,
Everything explained to you what you need to do going forward. The basic, of course, being that you need to win the remaining matches, 3 matches that are left for RCB now, but you need a lot of favors and lot at that. So check out that video, it's already up on Sports Today. We explained everything, what are those permutation combinations, what favors, everything.
so
explained for you if you're an RCB fan.
RCB's 3 games are against Punjab. That's the only away game that they have got at Dharamshala. Then they take on Delhi Capitals and Chennai Super Kings.
And by the way, neither of those games are inspiring as far as, let's say, form is concerned or head-to-head is concerned because DC have the wood over RCB. CSK definitely have the wood over
Ulta.
RCB have the wood. So
over
that's the
DC.
good one. But that last game against CSK. At home. Ooh.
Exactly. So yes, This game you saw powerful dominance by RCB in the power play, but apart from that, it became a total exhibition of harakiri. And then, if you look at it, it stays. The rivalry trend stays. Chasing side wins in an RCB GT match, and Mohit Sharma, 2 matches against RCB combined, 4 overs, none for 73. So yes, it's really a big problem. Virat Kohli has gotten the orange cap back with 542 runs, and it is on Virat Kohli that we are going to focus the next part of this discussion upon. He batted like a man possessed in the power play, but as soon as the middle overs came, with wickets falling at the other end, okay,
He didn't slow down. And
he did slow down.
No, he barely did. Look at the strike rate, 155.
But then he was striking at close to 190.
That's fine. That's still okay. That's a forgivable drop off. Today, actually, I would have been okay if he really slowed down. Because they weren't chasing a big total.
They weren't chasing a big total. Wickets are falling at the other end. I was fine. You needed somebody with a stable head to be able to consolidate. And you know, the cameras did pan to Virat Kohli every time that there was a wicket falling at the other end. He was utterly disappointed to see Cameron Green go. Prior to that, Glenn Maxwell throw his wicket away like that. At some point, of course, somebody stranded on the other side. I'm expecting some execution, some application as well. Better application, street smartness. From Virat, in a chase particularly, you guaranteed all of the above.
No agendas by the way, what we
Sunil
are
Gavaskar.
doing, to quote Sunil Gavaskar, because he did struggle against Noor.
Oh my God!
Honest about it.
It was tough to watch that. That was really tough to watch because he was just fending away at everything. It's either staying straight or going away from his edge, and every time you're thinking, oh, it's taking the edge, oh, it's taking the edge, oh, it's taking the
And
edge,
it did happen.
until
You
it
know
finally happened.
I'm just forgetting the name of the bowler, the West Indian bowler who troubled him, left armer.
Akil Hussain,
Not Akil Hussain. The other guy who
Gudakesh Moti.
took his wicket as well in the Test series last year.
Test series.
I think it was Gudakesh Moti.
No,
only,
no.
It wasn't Gudakesh. Wait. It was not an off spinner.
He was a left armer, young fellow.
Oh yeah. I think from Trinidad. I think he was. Yes.
I'm looking.
Some Joseph or
See, there's Alzari.
Yannick Carrier, but he's a leg spinner.
Yannick Carrier. Yeah, so Yannick Carrier troubled him.
Yeah, Yannick Carrier was the leg spinner. Yes.
Yannick Carrier. It was Yannick Carrier who did dismiss him, I think, in the second test as well. He was really troubling him.
Yeah.
Today, Virat, the way he was playing spin, it reminded me of that particular test knock.
Yeah, sorry.
One game he was dismissed by, of all people, Rakim Cornwall.
Yeah, Cornwall has troubled him in the past also.
Just
Off
second
spinner.
match was
Yeah, I'm
Yannick
checking.
Carrier.
Yeah, at Port of Spain, if I remember. And he played only, I didn't think he didn't bat in any of the ODIs, nor in the T20Is. So,
Let me just check.
yeah, I think it was Yannick Carrier, if I'm not mistaken.
Let me just check. We'll confirm for sure. India first innings he was run out. Second innings it was in bat in the second innings. So it was actually just
Rakim Cornwall.
Yeah.
Both the tests you checked?
yeah. One test he didn't bat.
Maybe he was just troubled then, and that's
Maybe,
the phase that
yeah.
I recall.
So, there is a problem. No personal agenda, no nothing. See the match, we have not made it up. Virat has a spin problem.
What is the over he got out in? It was the 11th over.
11th over.
So I think he faced about 3-4 balls in that very over only, where he just looked at 33 balls. The fourth he was gone.
Yeah, so that is why. See, Faf dominated the entire power play.
Yeah.
So Virat was striking, if I am not mistaken, close to 190, 200 in the
Virat
power
was
play.
going at a good click, yeah.
Yeah, because he started off the assault by lofting Mohit Sharma straight down the
For
ground.
6.
So that's why he held the pose also for that. Great, absolutely awesome. But you are going to encounter these kind of wickets in the West Indies. Let us be very honest, because if you feel that you have taken 4 spinners, South Africa have taken these many spinners, England also have a spin bowling unit that's there, you will encounter these pitches, and it's a problem, my friend. People may think, oh, you just don't have, you have only this kind of a vision only for Virat. No, Rohit Sharma, we have pointed out, T20 World Cup and IPL, he struggles.
Yes,
What was the strike rate you were saying Virat was batting at?
190, 200?
It was 233 after the power play.
233.
From 230
until the power play.
Yeah, because the time that
he was 28 of 12.
Faf to Plessis got dismissed 5.5. Yeah, Faf got out at
64.
278. Yes, He was batting at 233. Yeah.
230.
28 from 12 is what he got.
So
at the end of the
233
power
to
play.
155. But because wickets were falling. At the other.
That's given.
That's
a
given.
given. No criticism over there at all. In fact, today was a very good knock. The only time you saw Virat Kohli struggle, and you got to call a spade, is the time that the spinners came on.
Yeah. And even Rohit Sharma. Even Rohit Sharma struggles in the middle overs against spin. Look at how he got out to Sunil Narine yesterday.
Yesterday, before he got out to Sunil, he had one similar ugly hoik which fell in no man's land. The second time he went for it, not so lucky, spooned it to the fielder. So again,
See, there are errors. The left arm problem exists with Rohit Sharma. We know that.
Even
In
peak
fact,
Rohit
there are
Sharma had a
numbers to
problem.
suggest as well. He's got 5 dismissals now.
Yep.
This edition, as against lesser number of dismissals. I remember against right-handers. He's trying to go hard at the left-handers. He's striking at about 193.
Yes.
In comparison, right armers 150 odd is the strike rate. So you see, he's got that thing in his head as well. As a result, he's trying to go hard at left armers, but those dismissals, his average also drops massively as a result of all those dismissals.
and what he tries to do with left-handers is that more often than not, he'll try and walk down the crease.
Just to negate the in-swing.
Exactly,
This is
he'll
something that
walk
you
down
see
the
Virat
crease.
also do.
Yeah.
I will take you back to the Punjab Kings match. There was an Arshdeep Singh, there was a Kagiso Ravada, and I remember what Virat said after the match. He said, and because that question was posed to him, because you don't usually see him charge, especially in the first 6 overs. You don't see him charge. Yes, he uses his crease well, but you don't see him charge. To that, he said that because it's professional like Arshdeep and Rabada, they're so good, they don't give you any room to play the cover drive, which is my strong suit, which is something I'm good at. So you've got to find new ways of innovating.
Exactly, yeah. And I think Virat often does this to Rabada. He walks down, he's away, he's standing well outside of the crease also.
And that's what Rohit does to a lot of left armers. Just that this season there have been times where they've gotten such kind of movement that it's not worked. Other times he's tried to be attacking and it's led to his downfall. And I mean, the one concerning thing when it comes to Rohit was that someone was pointing out that people who are trolling Rohit for this year have to remember that this is actually the best season stats wise that he's having
8 years.
in 8 years. That is mad when you think about it, and tells you how underwhelming a T20 and really in recent years T20 eye player Rohit Sharma has been. Yeah, the batter. Yeah. And I'm counting purely his batting. I'm not looking at his captaincy. Captaincy wise, he's been phenomenal for MI. No two ways about it. But with the bat, at times he's tended to struggle. And there's 2 obvious weaknesses. Yes, against spin, we know you can see him play spin very well in Test cricket. In Test cricket, he tends to more often than not use his feet, because what then he'll do is he'll negate the flight of the spinners and ensure that he's hitting it at the pitch of the delivery, that is, and then can clear the ropes or just clear the infield. A very effortless
and also
player.
can employ the sweep also.
Yeah, and a good sweeper of the ball. But other than that, when he in limited overs cricket, where that's a risky option, I mean, let's be fair, you're not going to give the charge to a Sunil Narine. There, when he tries to sometimes be aggressive against the spinners, it leads to his downfall. Again, I go back to yesterday's example, ugly hoik, and I remember Siddharth and I were watching match. I'm telling you, what is he doing? Why is he going for that kind of a shot? And that kind of a shot then gets him out. So it's a problem.
It is a problem. So our 2 seniors, I mean, today we are looking at the Indian cricket team, okay? Today Virat and Siraj auditioned for the first time after the squad was announced.
Yeah.
Virat 42 of 27, you may say 80% of it he's aced.
Yeah.
Siraj today, he's the man of the match, by the way. So because of his spell that he bowled, so that's why
First man of the match award this whole season.
And also I think he struck early in the power play. He bowled well there.
Yeah,
he was used well.
His problem, Siraj, I think the problem with him often comes when you ask him to bowl in the death. He's no good in the death. Never has been. I do not recall a single season where he's bowled well in the death. In fact, I remember one of the reasons his 2022 numbers were so poor is because he was bowling at least 2 overs in the death and would often get carted around all over the park. He's not a good death bowler. Siraj is at his best when he's looking for using that angle which he bowls the ball from and trying to look for swing. We know he can get it to swing out. There are occasions he'll get it to swing in as well. That's his strength, and that's where he probably needs to be used. Again, considering there's no Shami. And Shami, by the way, is still a better death bowler than a Siraj is. If I'm looking at him from an India perspective, I'd probably bowl 3 of his overs in the power play and maybe give him 1 in the middle. Not the death. He's not a death bowler at all.
So all the 15 Indians have given their audition after the matches, after the squad selection was done?
Yeah, I think so.
Would they have? See, the announcement came on the
30th. So Rohit, yes. Yashasvi, yes. Virat today, yes.
Sky, yes.
Sky, yes.
Maybe Rishabh hasn't.
Rishabh is the only one.
Rishabh, Kuldeep,
and Aksar. That will happen on Tuesday then, when DC take on RR. So those three we have to wait. Sanju has given his audition, he struggled. Arshdeep has struggled. Siraj has come up well.
Bumrah did well.
No worries
No
about
surprise.
that whatsoever.
Chahal gave a run.
Chahal has given you a worry, yes.
Sanju gave you a worry.
Yes. So Yashasvi, Bumrah, Virat, Siraj. 4 out of the 12 have given you reasons to believe. 4 out of that, because 3, Rishabh, Aksar and Kuldeep haven't auditioned it after the squad was announced. So, but the broader context, which we will devote some time to it, is prior to this game, Sunil Gavaskar, the former India captain, one of the best batsmen we've had. Of course, he's not played much in the T20 age.
Much.
At all.
I have to use it very politely, because he himself said, we may have not played this much of cricket.
That he said sarcastically.
He said sarcastically, so I have to
Yes.
also respect that.
Yes, he said that sarcastically. In fact, this is a good time for us to in fact show you what exactly we're talking about. We'll have those comments
Yeah.
that of Sunil Gavaskar, and just to give you a little bit of perspective, it came in the build-up when the broadcaster was
4-4.
building up to the toss for this particular match. This came from Sunil Gavaskar. Of course, there's a separate video that's already up on the platform, but we're going to be spending time here talking about those comments that were made. Just to give you a little bit of background, Virat Kohli, a week back when he played
Same opponent.
with the same opponent that he played against just about a week back, there were things that had been said coming into that match with regards to his strike rate. He struck a 50 at a strike rate of about 118. That didn't get him a lot of plaudits, to which he had then replied that there are people who talk from the comm box, there are people who say things, for them it's about numbers. I look at my job and the job's done. I don't, I've been doing this for 15 years, and even then people have questions. Something on those lines that he had
I
to
mean,
say
the
back.
people who are questioning me about the strike rate and all these things, it's like, okay, to sit and talk about the game from the box, that was the major problem. I mean, all of them are rather, he's dismissed them as armchair experts in a way, okay. To that, today Sunil Gavaskar came out and said, the criticism, and this is where it is very important to have perspective. The criticism came not because of the other knocks that you played. The criticism came when you had a strike rate of 118. The game that we are talking about is the Sunrisers Hyderabad encounter. Virat Kohli had hit a 50, but 43 balls, 118. You came first ball, you went in the 14th over, you still had that same strike rate, middle over 77. But if you want applause for that, then say for God's sake that, you have no right to criticize, you must applaud because I have hit a 50. That is the way. That's what Virat Kohli seems to be expecting. Now the next point, okay, the clip was run over and over and over again. So that means the host broadcasters just want to run a particular individual's opinion over all the others who have been doing their job behind the scenes. When all these guys talk about that we do not listen to the outside noise, then why are you replying? Kohli, Rahul and Rohit have all shown that they are human. That no way you will never listen to the outside noise. You're not Steve Smith. Hardik Pandya put on a facade which failed miserably, and see, he's the butt of jokes. You're losing, you're still smiling. It looks so forced and it looks so fake.
It doesn't look real. That's the point. That's the biggest criticism. And I would say one thing. Kudos, by the way, to Sunil Gavaskar to not only actually mention about the fact that Virat's comments were pretty out of line, more importantly, call out his own employees, the broadcasters,
Yes.
for saying, listen, if you are constantly airing these lines, then you are calling into to question our expertise of the game, and the broadcasters need to stop doing that. Yeah, I mean, I also understand it looking from the outside that these are basically money, it's a money shot, quite frankly, because again, you have someone who's saying something fiery, and especially if that someone happens to be a Kohli, it definitely garners attention. It definitely will capture eyeballs. Does that make him saying what he said right? Absolutely not. If you have such a problem with the expertise of those in the box or armchair experts, those who haven't been in the situation, then then maybe don't listen to that advice. There's enough people out there who are more than happy listening to people who have opinions on the game, and that's why they like engaging with people who are in that sort of a situation. Virat, you don't need to be listening to that, man. You're a fab player. You're one of the best in the world, best to have ever done it. Please focus on your game. In fact, I'll quote what Simon Dool had said, saying that why is it that Kohli is talking about these things? Is he going through social media? Is someone going through social medias and telling him that, listen, this is what people are saying about you? You're a fantastic player. Why is this bloke going through social media? He doesn't need to be doing that. Just focus on your game. And I wholeheartedly agree. Block out the outside noise. Focus on what's important.
It's not possible for
But perhaps it's easier said than done. Blocking out the outside noise.
In a country like India is impossible.
Exactly. Perhaps it's easier said than done. Virat Kohli isn't the first one. We've seen legends of this game. And I'm talking about Indian players who have succumbed to the external noise. Virat Kohli is certainly not the first one. Yes, it's a little bit of a facade when those celebrations come out and you're covering your ears or you're trying to send out a message. It is in fact an admission on part of the player that clearly the outside noise had affected him. Now, Virat Kohli, by the way, is one of those players who feeds on such noise. I'm not saying it's bad. There are all sorts of players that you have. It takes me back to somebody like, I think they say the same about Kobe Bryant as well.
Michael Jordan. Same.
Say that he would go back, read those lines, whatever we said, watch those tapes again and again, especially in the build up to the match.
And maybe a Novak Djokovic also may do
Another one. Yeah.
Again, it's not documented as yet. I'm not too sure about a Djokovic, but yeah, and maybe Virat Kohli, if that's what, and that's where he gets the motivation from, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But when you say it from the box, yes, of course it's going to come from the box. It can't come from my home. It cannot come from the streets. It cannot come from anywhere else. It has to either come from the ground or from the box. I'm not going to be doing my job from home. So there is, and you know who are those people sitting inside the box. Those are veterans of the game. You want them to be coming close to the pitch, standing where the umpire stand and the commentator do his job. Then maybe we need to look at the game and look at making multiple other changes to the game then and remove umpires. If legends of the game, certified legends like Virat have a problem with people sitting in the box. You got to respect what the other person's also doing, what his job is. The job is to analyze, the job is to dissect. In all of this though, it's not, and I wouldn't want to look at it just about, Virat Kohli versus the commentators or a Virat Kohli versus a Sunil Gavaskar. I think this is a broader message, as Shane pointed out. I think it's a lesson for the broadcaster.
Yeah.
It's a message to the broadcaster who still has Virat Kohli images even when he's not the captain, to publicize a particular match, to advertise for the whole tournament, to run just Virat Kohli campaigns day in and day out, just talk about Virat Kohli. Yes, he is one of the most celebrated players, one of the most loved players that this country's produced as far as the game of cricket is concerned. But there is blatant pandering happening over here. And you're trying to color the opinion of the viewer. If you show something, this is the basic rule of advertising and marketing, by the way. You show something, you hammer something into the head of an individual, it will get into the head, it doesn't go out.
It doesn't go out.
Yes, your job is to present, as they say, let's say in our field, in journalism, to provide a holistic view, to provide a 360-degree view. And don't we get flack for presenting one view, which at times can happen.
Yeah.
It does happen. But to the broadcaster, it equally applies as well.
It applies.
If there are 22 players playing, if there are 15, and those reports are, by the way, come around as well over all these years, that some of the Indian players have also felt this, that there is a lot of attention being given to a couple of individuals in the Indian team and not the others.
Yep.
So it's a big lesson for the broadcaster as well, that and you're talking about somebody who is a legend in himself. You're not talking about somebody who's played just 2, 3, 4 matches and made a career in commentating. This is a guy who spent his whole life making his career after having outscored so many great individuals in the world of cricket and then getting where he is.
Correct. Now, I have a big issue with this, because the comments that Virat Kohli made reeks of privilege, number one. The statements that he made, okay, you say no, that there is a lesson, we have to provide a holistic 360 degree, when that's our job, right? His comments, basically what he said, I'm not quite sure that you haven't been in that situation yourself to sit and talk about the game from the box. this particular statement, in journalism and in whatever analysis that we do, you don't expect people to wholeheartedly agree with you. You don't expect people to wholeheartedly disagree with you. You give and you take. It's a give and take. Whatever be the odds, whatever be the thing, you are never expected to be totally wrong. You are never expected to be totally right. In Virat's case, what he did in Ahmedabad today was the greatest disservice in one particular aspect. You are demeaning somebody for doing a job. You never got an opportunity for the same argument. If I want to ask a Virat Kohli, boss, how many articles do you write? How many articles do you want to write on data? How many features have you done? How many interviews have you done? Do you understand the situation, what people have to go through if you want to present the truth? This statement is the ultimate fodder for all those toxic fan bases that exist on social media. And he is the fountainhead because he's given that information out in such a way. It says, oh, how dare you talk about me? You have to first be on the field and only then you have the right to criticize. Hello. Not everybody can get a chance on the field. There are 10 teams, there are 110 players out of 1.4 billion. Not everybody can get a chance. He and AB de Villiers, I'm sorry, even AB de Villiers, the thing that he said on his YouTube channel was mocking people who want to ensure that they do a job.
I'm sorry, AB for me lost all credibility once he,
Took his statement
first,
back?
not that, first leaked the story of Kohli's kid,
Yeah.
which, I mean, if Kohli's told you about it, first don't be stupid enough to actually,
Put it out.
put
If
it
it was
out there.
told
If
you
it
in
was told to you in confidence, don't put it out there. Then after that, don't
Profusely apologizing.
don't backtrack to the point where you're like, I have no idea what was going on.
I
Hey?
was ill-informed. was the word
Ill-informed?
used.
Please. And then on top of that, this constant tirade he'll go on where he's like, oh, this numbers-driven approach and all is not good. But boss, you yourself are doing the numbers-driven approach. And by the way, the another thing I have to touch upon about Kohli today, which will escape a little bit of scrutiny, but I think it's worth pointing out because it harkens back to something that I was a little aggrieved about. Remember when Harshit Rana was given
Oh, yes.
Are you talking about this?
Yes, of course I'm talking
He
about
was
that.
almost about to do, but
This is
then
after the run
He
out.
did it.
Yeah.
He
The
did it.
Shah Rukh Khan run out.
Yes, when Shah Rukh Khan was run out, Virat Kohli gave him a flying kiss send off. Kohli was not even the bowler. I'm sorry. Why are you not down? Does that not add up to enough demerit points for a one match man? You're not even going to hear a peep about it. And it goes back to what an Akash Chopra said. He said that, listen, I know a certain famous cricketer who, with this kind of celebrations he gives, would be getting banned for one game every alternate match. Where is the, consistency?
Uniformity.
There is none. There are double standards. You let a Virat Kohli get away with it because he's a star player. And that is something you see, by the way, even with, captains now. How many captains, Hardik Pandya came perilously close because he's been fined 24 lakhs. He's been handed a second.
Pant had two.
And then after that,
warnings
gone.
inside the first 4 games.
And after that, he's had no warnings. None whatsoever.
despite
in fact, we've seen an MS Dhoni get close as well. I remember
in 2023.
Year, yes, last year also. In fact, it was last year, I think.
Last year, where he said no, that if you keep on bowling wides, then I will
exactly. But
be
have
off
we
the field.
ever in the history of this competition, it is different strokes for different folks.
And also, by the way, the same people who were decrying Harshit Rana doing what he did to Mayank Agarwal, which by the way I disagreed with. I didn't like it. What I had such a problem with was when he was giving that send off to, I think it was Abhishek Purell in the DC game where he did this.
Yes.
First off, he didn't do it to Purell's face. Secondly, it was very generic. You didn't need to be banning the man for that. But that's the thing, passion, that little bit of celebration. By that logic, then even a Weber Vadora in that same game gave Shea Hope a send off. Why was he not given anything? Virat Kohli here is giving a flying kiss and you're playing that visual on loop. That's what really grinds my goat, because it gets to my goat, grinds my gears, same thing.
Yeah.
But because there's such a double standard. When Kohli does this, like, oh, look at King Kohli, oh, look at the passion. When Harshit Rana does it, it's like, oh, who are you, what have you done? because he just got the batter's wicket. Am I saying his behavior was right? No, but neither was Kohli's then. You need to be looking at these things with a uniformity. It needs to be standard. It can't just be, oh, because it's Kohli, he gets extra leeway. He's a star. Nothing of that sort.
Wow.
Simple as.
What a utopian world they just said. There has to be uniformity.
No, and see, I know that there's no uniformity from, the way the broadcasters portrayed within fans, but that's our job, right? We are meant to be the voices of reason, and I'm pointing it out there. If you are okay with a Kohli doing it, but not a Harshit Rana doing it, look at yourself in the mirror.
Exactly.
I mean,
you got to be looking both. Again, they're both in the same boat, and you got to be then criticizing, and then both need to be called out the same way.
Look,
Simple as that.
The BCCI have always tiptoed around star players. The only star player who was banned, but that offence was very, very huge, was Harbhajan Singh in 2008 when he slapped Srishant. And that too also, it was, the footage never came out.
Yeah, that footage, by the way, was seen by the people who made the decision on handing him a ban, and even they, that footage has never been leaked.
Never been leaked, okay? You missed out on a chance to set an example in 2019 when an MS Dhoni just charged out into the field at the Savai Man Singh against Rajasthan Royals.
And argued with the umpires.
Over a decision where he was not even part of. Praveen Amre.
On the behest of the Delhi captain.
Rishabh Pant escaped the ban, but Praveen Amre got a one match ban. MS Dhoni was fined 50%. I am sorry, it was a level 3 offence. He should have been banned 4 to 8 games straight.
Yes.
But no, the BCCI will never do it. Overrates. Oh, we are just going to put on a facade. 2 fines. Boss, be careful. Don't do it. We'll try and fudge some other things. We'll try and do other things. I am pretty sure after Rishabh Pant's 2 other offences that came, Delhi have messed up on the time.
Yeah.
Yes.
They have messed it up. But then no, that won't come up now. Virat's celebrations, he's pushed the line each and every time.
Listen, if celebrations or send-offs were a problem, then last year, that game against LSG in Lucknow should have racked him up enough points for a 2-match ban.
Yeah.
Because every wicket that went, it was, come on. Every person, it reached a point where he damn near had a fight with Naveen ul Haq.
Yeah.
It was this close. And if that doesn't merit anything, I think he got a basic fine
Only
or something.
I think 50% or 100% match fee fine.
Both
Joke.
those, and I think Gambhir was also fined.
Also,
Yeah, absolute joke.
It was.
Avesh was fined. Omar Zai was
Avesh was fined for throwing his helmet. I'm saying the easy target.
Avesh
You
was
are never going to see this, and in the case of a Virat Kohli, all these kind of criticisms, whatever is there, you are making yourself bigger than the game by these kind of statements.
And
That's what I want to sum it up.
you're trying to see yourself as being above everything. That's
I
the
am
problem.
above criticism. Boss, people have acknowledged you are God, but you're not God. Even God also doesn't escape criticism.
Correct.
He gets lot of bad-duas, he gets duas also, but then he also doesn't escape it. Virat Kohli, for crying out loud, don't demean other people's jobs. They have to do it. Yes, it is not popular because your statements will ensure that those guys are mentally trolled on social media. They can't even come onto social media because of these kind of statements. So at least it's a sincere request. We don't advise you that, you play in this way or Virat Khan ne pusar kar rahe. We don't do that. You are well above that. You are a great player. But for God's sake, respect people's jobs, respect the dignity of labor, respect opinion. This is the lack of immaturity, the lack of maturity that is there in the Indian ethos is what is going to kill you at the end of the day. Toxic fan bases will always back one particular player and they will never have the courage to put their own individual faces. They'll only put this man's face and this man gets unnecessary flack. And congratulations to the fan bases. You're shown that you have no spine to stand upon, but you'll only say, oh, Virat is like that, Virat is like this.
Rohit is like this.
Rohit is the greatest. MSD is the greatest. MSDN is like that. That's what you have reduced Indian cricket to, and it's a fallacy.
It's a shame.
It's a
because
shame.
Indian cricket as a whole should be thriving, and it's not, is of course down to players,
Yeah.
the fact that they've never won trophies, but I think also fan mentality does not help, because we'll look at it and be like, "Arey, Virat ne to 100 mara, arey Rohit ne 200 mara." Doesn't matter.
Look at the narcissism that MS Dhoni is exhibiting in the Chennai Super Kings. Yeah,
Send back Daryl Mitchell.
thing.
Poor Daryl Mitchell ran 2 runs.
That was
Today, when you looked at the video, look at the fans. Oh, no problem. Rituraj got out on 98, no problem. MS Dhoni.
And we're talking about that and this is again where I say the problem sometimes comes down to even how it's portrayed on screen. Where on the digital broadcasters, whilst this entire facade is going on, this entire shambles is going on, where Daryl Mitchell has completed 2 runs, you've got a certain commentator, you know what he's saying? He's saying, Dhoni is like the Bahubali of Indian cricket. And he said in Hindi, by the way, Dhoni is like the Bahubali of Indian cricket. वो जब भी सामने होते हैं, सबके अंदर confidence जो है ना वो drain out हो जाता है और opposition team की confidence चला जाता है. Like, that's what you're focusing on. The poor man set back a batter. That's not important.
I mean, it was really, I may say it was very poor. From MSD, it was
In poor taste.
This narcissistic attitude, me. It's not a team.
Star.
मैं star हूँ, मैं ही सब करूँगा. He hit a 4, he hit a 6. Big deal.
You lost the match, no?
You lost the game. Okay, those 2 runs would have made no difference. But you are festering a mentality which will hurt you in the long run.
Exactly.
And sorry, MS Dhoni, that act, I've always criticized him for taking the game deep. This, right up there as far as his other misdemeanors are concerned.
Sawal?
Sawal le lete hain, yes.
Got a fair few, I think. Let's see. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Let's see. Dhanush says that VK should open in the T20 World Cup. Slow batting after power play. Yeah, Dhanush, I would agree with that. But now that you've got a Yashasvi, are you really going to make that trade-off? I don't know. You're caught between a rock and a hard place.
It takes you a good half a decade in Indian cricket to come to a left-hand, right-hand combination. So
5 years. It's taken you 5 years.
Exactly. So now that you've managed to achieve it, stick to it. It gives you dynamism. It gives you short aggression. Yashasvi has to be there.
If you open with Virat, then boy, you are wrecking that batting order.
Yeah, absolutely.
You are letting go of a player who plays fearlessly.
Which is a necessity in T20 cricket.
If you do that, I'm sorry. You want to have million different ways to go into the grave? Do that.
Mr. Shekhar, the GTN,
He'll be really
sorry for your loss today, my man, says, good evening, gents. I don't know if I should unleash a mouthful on Gill. Felt sorry for him from his body language, utterly clueless even while batting. You know what, Mr. Shekhar, I do kind of agree with you because I was going through what he said after the match on our screen here. Jesus Christ, that boy looks out of his depth. And I'm starting to regret it more and more that he was kind of made the captain because it's just kind of, taking away from what he was really good at, which was his batting. I mean, see, he said, okay, 170, 80 on this wicket would have been a good total, fair. But if you're looking at it now, he says, it's important for us to start from 0 in the next game. I mean, you are going to be starting from 0 in the next game, Shubman. That's how sport works.
Short.
And he's saying it also. See, we have many positives to take from this game. Hey? What positives exactly?
Maybe the fight that they showed.
But that wasn't a fight. That was RCB chucking it away. I'm sorry, they didn't show that much fight. In fact, of course, if they had a Rashid bowling from early on, could have perhaps been different because RCB were really in a mood to absolutely, I think they were thinking of selling perfumes because all they were doing was bottling it. But, I mean, other than that, I'm sorry, GT did themselves no favors. 28 in the power play. Woeful.
Absolutely woeful. That's the lowest ever, I think, in IPL 2024.
Oh yeah, by some distance. I mean, we've seen 125 being scored in the power play and today we saw 28.
Now we've seen the lowest overall total and the lowest power play total both from the same team.
Shock horror at the Chinnaswamy. Who would have thought? Who would have thunk? I didn't.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mayank Madan. Why didn't Gill bowl Rashid Noor in power play? Poor captaincy. GT has ruined Gill the batsman as well. When will this norm of making your best batsman the captain change? RCB reminders of Manchester United,
I mean, to be fair, I get the comparison. Also, why didn't they bowl? See, Rashid, I still understand because he obviously was off the field with that injury. But I do agree, Noor, I think after Mohit's first over, you could have kind of sort of just been done with, that experiment.
Yeah, but then see, you panicked by getting a Vijay Shankar. And that's why you lost out on a bowling option. See, he got 10 of 7.
First change. They had to go for it.
Getting Vijay Shankar in the
they
death
didn't
overs.
have anyone else who could assure them about 10, 15, 20 runs. They were obviously hoping for a bit more than that. But it didn't come.
Whatever it is. So, okay.
Abhay Chauhan makes an interesting point. Says, you all are talking about Noor and, the way he was troubling Kohli. Bro, Kohli made Livingston look like Vaughan in that World Cup semi-final. He's talking about 2022.
Yeah.
And then he was taking singles against Pacers too for his 50. Agree or not, and this is, I have to prefix, this is Abhay Chauhan's personal opinion, agree or not, but he's a stat-obsessed batsman. But, I mean, yeah, that particular game, his slow batting in the middle overs absolutely killed it.
Look, in the 3 games that you had to step up, you didn't step up. But then you'll argue, oh, Pakistan, you lost 2 wickets. You lost 2 wickets. You didn't lose 7, 8 wickets. That's why you had to bat slowly. New Zealand game, he was clueless. Absolutely clueless. England game, no. 50.
Let's not even start about that game.
It was
Let's not even
terrible.
start.
It was terrible.
Piyush Nandre, Gavaskar and Kapil Dev walked, so Sachin and Dravid, Ganguly, Dhoni could run, and they all ran so that Virat can fly. Virat is a star because of cricket. He needs to respect legends. Piyush,
Totally
nothing more to
agree,
add.
but that seems to be missing Piyush from his arsenal. He may have all the strokes, but then respect. Okay, I do understand that even in the past also some lines were crossed. It's not the first time that this happened, but see, you would have to think twice here. Respect someone else's job. At least do that.
Slightly up. There's a few which I'd not rather take. Ashish Dhar said that Virat hit Manav Sutar for 2 sixes. He just got out to a good ball. Even Travis Head got out to Swapnil Singh. No, fair
No,
point.
Travis didn't get out to Swapnil Singh. I think
that was Abhishek.
Akram and Klaasen, didn't they?
No. Klaasen got out
No,
to...
Swapnil Singh, yes. Klaasen and
Heinrich
and
Klaasen and
Markram.
Was Head out. I mean, we'll have to check.
Head, I remember, got caught at short
I think
third.
it was 3 wickets. Yeah.
Short third, but I don't think it was Swapnil.
Yeah.
Asad Usman, who is a regular commenter of ours, says that a player like Virat Kohli won't get a chance in a top level 11 like in Australia, England, New Zealand and even South Africa. So what's his attitude about T20 cricket? He needs to accept he's way behind the modern T20 cricket, and this is coming from one of the biggest fans of Kohli.
Wow. Yeah.
Salute actually to him,
Yeah.
for saying that, because it's an unpopular opinion
But even see,
of a Virat Kohli fan.
yeah. Shakin PS is saying Virat scored 25 or 17 was a spin tonight with a strike rate of 147%. What's the issue with it? But Shakin, that's the entire point. We are not having an issue with Virat in the chasing bit. It's only while batting first.
And he did look very, very lost against Noor after a point.
And that is the only thing. Left
Don't
arm-
just look at the number. You look at how it is that he was batting.
Yeah.
Didn't look good.
He didn't look good against Noor. And I remember you're going to encounter similar kind of wickets in the West Indies. Sure, from 233, a come down to 150, but then you could understand the broader context that yes, you had lost wickets. And Noor was bowling a good line.
I just scroll slightly up, very slightly, not too much. There's an interesting comment I want to take. Yeah, Piyush Nandre again says that Gavaskar was also criticized for his templates of playing ODIs when ODIs were new. In the 1975 World Cup, he scored 34 or 174,
36 or 180,
it was
yeah.
36. But yeah, it was in fact, Dwayne still this did the slowest ever innings in ODI history. He says, but in the 1987 World Cup, he scored 103 of 88 versus New Zealand. He accepted the criticism and changed his game. He answered with his bat.
But it took him 12 years to change.
Still, yeah. Still.
And that was his last year. I mean, towards the last year, he had nothing to lose. So, Sunny Ji, he did what he had to do. And when it came at that particular point in time, I just don't understand. Like, see, India were behind the curve until the 80s. After that, you picked up 83 to 85. You had a golden period where you won everything. But then you stagnated in the 90s. So, that's why.
Rajneesh Jha says, I know comment won't be taken. Ha, Rajneesh, trolled you there. But Indian cricketers have too much to say for people who haven't won anything for 13 years. Mental health, do me a favor and come to do a daily man's job and then see. Rajneesh, well said.
Perfectly. I mean, for people who come every day and survive the rigors of a corporate job, I think they are the real heroes. Look at what has happened outside. Nurses, doctors, firemen.
No, see, I think it's unfair to compare circumstances. I do think being an elite level athlete comes with the kind of stresses that a lot of us would not necessarily be able to take. That's not demeaning or belittling anyone who has that. But in fact, I did, agree with that statement where he says that I think Indian cricketers do talk a lot for a bunch of lads who have not won anything. I do agree.
Okay.
Rahul Mahapatra says, seriously, you look lost against Noor, he being Virat. 5 wickets fell down, so you wanted Virat to get out immediately. Cricket isn't played on social media. What about 2 sixes against Suthar?
Yeah, see, he hit those sixes fine, but then again they are missing the criticism. The criticism is for Virat when he faces spin, he struggles against certain types. Today he hit a Manav Suthar. Boss!
Who's Manav Suthar?
Manav Suthar has made his debut. He struggled against a Shahbaz at Uppal on the flattest deck possible, 77. And okay, there's one more. Can we rename this channel? Kevin Abraham is saying. He's always been after us. Okay, can we rename this channel to Virat Bashing Today? Because that's all I hear after every match. Okay,
But
Kevin Abraham. Okay, Kevin Abraham. You, my friend, will have to look at what was said in the context of what happened with Sunil Gavaskar and Virat Kohli. Honestly, if you are working, if you're in a job, will you agree with what Virat Kohli has said?
Also, I disagree with the Virat bashing thing because I remember singing his praises an awful lot during the ODI World Cup, where he was playing well, playing according to situation, playing according to the template that was needed from him at that point. The only game where I felt he disappointed, shock horror, was the final, where him and KL Rahul both went into their shells. But that's a different story. That's a story for another day. Other than that, I had no problems with him batting there the way he did at all, because quite frankly, that was exactly how he had to bat. ODI cricket is not the same as T20 cricket, and he flourishes in ODI cricket, but I mean, you have to accept, I don't know how big a fan you may be of Kohli or whatever, but accept certain facts, or if you want to look at it differently, then that's your prerogative, but our prerogative is to give you guys analysis, and that's what we're doing.
See, as I mentioned at the beginning, no one is expected to agree wholeheartedly. No one disagrees with you wholeheartedly. It's simple. Take it or leave it. It's a simple philosophy that we all employ, and that is our major job. It's not as if we want to influence any kind of thing. We have an agenda, we'll bash Virat Kohli. No. It's at this particular context. Otherwise, did we bash him for any of the other games? No. Only 3 instances out of 11.
That happened in the ODI World Cup, and what would we not be failing in our jobs if we want to call a spade a spade?
Yep. Also, Rahul, I really have to ask, who's Anuj? It's not remotely close to any of our names. That's Harshit, I'm Shane, and that's Siddharth. Who's Anuj?
Has he is he looking for some other Anuj who's got a triple split personality here?
Oh, is he looking?
Mohit, Harshit, Anuj. Arre, yaar, don't tell me. Okay. Any other further questions, or shall we call it a day?
Call it a night, because tomorrow is a big day.
2, it's a double header.
It's a super double header Sunday.
It's Chennai Super Kings versus Punjab Kings at Dharamshala, but followed by more dances from Shane.
I hope
it happens, because it's KKR versus Lucknow Super Giants at the Ekana. The most important game when you look at the top 4 crystallization.
I would say, go as far as to say, if KKR win that, then top 2 becomes big.
Then you will have a major dance, and on a different song.
For obvious reasons.
Yes. So from me, Shane and Harshit, it's bye-bye. Pleasure to bring you this game. Don't forget, check out all the other videos that all of us have done.
Subscribe, and of course, from our side, it's good night, Vanakkam, Nandri, Shubhratri, Shabba Khair, eat your vegetables, and boys,
don't trouble your mother.
Good night.
Nandri.